Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. I have great pleasure to welcome you all back for this session of Prabhupada Lilamrt. So, in this session, we are going to be discussing the first anniversary of Srila Prabhupada's departure from India. We all know that Janmashtami came soon after Prabhupada set sail on Jaladuta. So, that Janmashtami in the year 1965 was celebrated. Huh? So, that year, the Janmashtami was celebrated on board the ship. Prabhupada gave an address to the captain, Pandya, and to other sailors who were all in the boat. He was the only passenger. So that is how the Janmashtami went. So whatever we have so far gone through is what happened between that time, that when Prabhupada set sail, that Janmashtami, and now the next Janmashtami is coming. And we can see what a miracle has been accomplished by Srila Prabhupada, by his perseverance, by his determination, by his complete surrender to Krishna and to the instructions of his spiritual master. And we are able to see what amazing things have been accomplished by Srila Prabhupada. So, thank you, Mohandas Prabhu. I think I am seeing you after a long time. I hope everything. I hope everything is well with you. You are in Chennai or Pondicherry?
Yes, Prabhu. I am in Pondicherry, Prabhu. Today, okay. Monday, I'll be going there.
Okay, Monday you'll be back in Chennai.
Yes, ma'am.
Very good. So now, this chapter is a very, very important chapter. It is entitled Planting the Seed. Last week was Breaking the Ground. This is Planting the Seed. So this week we will see the first Janmashtami, or in the other sense, second Janmashtami, from the departure of Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada's departure was on Janmashtami, you can say like that. So 1 year later, what happened is what we are going to see. Janmashtami is coming up, and Janmashtami following day is Prabhupada's appearance day. There is Nandotsav, coincides with Prabhupada's appearance day. So this period, whatever has happened, we will see. By this time, Prabhupada has got a temple, a simple temple. 26 Second Avenue has blossomed into a small, simple temple. By the very presence of a pure devotee there, it has become a temple. Ground floor is the place where Prabhupada will be giving his classes. And upstairs is the place where Prabhupada is living, doing his work and worshipping. His work is basically to translate and to meet the visitors and to have conversations with them endlessly. And Prabhupada would cook his own food, offer it to the deities. So the worship would also be happening there. Prabhupada, you remember, he has a Panchatattva picture in one platform, which is there in the inner room of his upstairs apartment. That is the place of worship. And in the front room is where Prabhupada is keeping his typewriter, his translation work, manuscripts, everything. That is his place of work. And then there is the kitchen. So, and coming down, Prabhupada would take classes for the public as they come for the Bhagavad Gita classes, like that. So this is the simple temple in lower east side. It has become full-fledged ashram because not only Srila Prabhupada, some people have also started staying there. Some people are staying casually. Some people are becoming more serious, committed followers of Srila Prabhupada. Like we have already seen how Keith immediately volunteered to Prabhupada. Prabhupada, can I cook for you? And Prabhupada said, yes, definitely. And Prabhupada was very happy to train him in how to use the tiffin carrier, which Prabhupada used to use to cook in that. He taught him to make chapatis by hand and to make the flat chapati would become like a football on the fire. And other disciples of, not disciples, other followers of Prabhupada were very impressed to see the cooking abilities of Keith. Very quickly he got trained. He also became the housekeeper in 26 Second Avenue. So that, like that, a temple and an ashram have already emerged. Now it is no longer, Prabhupada is not the only resident in that quarters. Now there are more people staying there. More people are visiting from morning to night. Prabhupada is giving interviews, clarifying doubts of people, giving training. Like that, this has become a full-fledged ashram. There is a growing number of visitors, more and more. Many people are casual visitors. Among them, some people become more serious and they start coming regularly to Prabhupada's classes. And they also become willing to take personal instructions from Srila Prabhupada by going upstairs to his room. So popularity is rising. You know, ISKCON is already registered. Popularity of ISKCON is rising. And people are calling Prabhupada to come give programs like that. And so visibility, especially among the hippies. Now you know that Lower East Side has become filled with hippies from all over the United States. And all these hippies are drawn like a magnet towards Srila Prabhupada. So that way, visibility of Srila Prabhupada among the hippies and also among the general public, because the media is giving very good coverage of what these people are doing. Very happily, it's not paid advertising. It is voluntarily, people are, the journalists are eager to write about Srila Prabhupada, about the good work that he's doing. So that way, visibility is increasing and serious followers are emerging who are willing to make the commitment. Such people are coming, and Prabhupada is watching all these things happening. But the only person who knows what will happen in the future is Srila Prabhupada only. Because his future plans, you remember when Prabhupada registered ISKCON Society? Let me read out for you, because last week I did not read out the objectives of the ISKCON movement that was being registered. So maybe we'll quickly go through that. The objectives for which the ISKCON Society was registered. Let me read. 7 purposes of ISKCON were stated in that agreement, in that trust deed. What is that? To systematically propagate spiritual knowledge to society at large and to educate all peoples in the techniques of spiritual life, in order to check the imbalance of values in life and to achieve real unity and peace in the world. See this amazing objective. It is starting with spirituality. And spirituality means automatically it is transcendental, it is beyond the material world, right? Prabhupada wants to teach spiritual techniques of spiritual life and to give spiritual knowledge to the people. So that is something who will take interest. Then Prabhupada is adding, so that the imbalance of values in life can be checked. So this is of real value to the world, that people will have a good value system. That is the purpose of spiritual life. And what will happen after that? When people develop values, real unity will be achieved and peace in the world will be achieved. So like that first objective is so beautiful. It is saying how spirituality will solve material problems. And it also means only spirituality can solve material problems. You and I, many times, we are working out some solutions to our material problems, right? And we forget spirituality. We try to look for some material solution to our material problems. We want a quick fix. This problem, how can I sort it out now? But no, all those efforts are bound to fail in the long run. It is like, there is a hole through which water is gushing out with great force. Just by your finger, you cannot stop. The whole thing will break. There is so much force. So like that, the problems in material life are simply the symptoms of a serious spiritual problem. So we have to approach it spiritually. So that's what Prabhupada is saying. To attain real unity and peace in the world, you have to teach spirituality to people. And in your own personal life also, unless you accept spiritual values, your material problems will never go away. Rather, it will become bigger and bigger. Then to propagate a consciousness of Krishna, as it is revealed in Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam. Straight away, Prabhupada's aim is to teach Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam. And through that, Krishna consciousness. Then third, to bring members of the society together with each other and nearer to Krishna, the prime entity. Thus, to develop the idea within the members and humanity at large that each soul is part and parcel of the quality of Godhead, not quantity. So many things are said in this one objective. We have to teach everyone that you are part and parcel of Krishna, who is a supreme entity. And understanding that we are all his children, we will come close to each other. So first you accept Krishna, the Supreme Lord, as the center, as the father of all of us. Then all of us are automatically united. We come closer to Krishna and automatically we become closer to one another. So that is the objective Prabhupada is saying. First and foremost, the members of the society should become close. Members of the society should develop unity among themselves so that they will have the force to go out and propagate. If you want to help the society at large, you should have cohesion among the members. And how to create that cohesion, unity among members? To teach them Krishna is the center of your life. So when everyone makes Krishna the center of the life, the members will automatically become close to each other. That is another objective. Fourth objective, to teach and encourage Sankirtan movement. That is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission. That is a Kali Yuga Dharma. So that is the fourth objective it's called. To encourage and teach Sankirtan movement. Congregational chanting of the holy name of Lord as revealed in the teachings of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So straight away, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu inaugurated the Sankirtana movement and ISKCON is carrying it forward, going whole world over. Mahaprabhu told, na, in the whole world, every town and village, my name will be sung. So the order has been given and ISKCON executes that order. So this is simply the movement of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, which is being carried forward by Srila Prabhupada. Fifth objective, to erect for the members and for society at large a holy place of transcendental pastimes dedicated to the personality of Krishna, and that is Mayapur. To set up a holy place of transcendental pastime, that is Mayapur. Now, the Chandrodaya Mandir is coming up, transcendental temple of Vedic planetarium is coming up. That is an objective of ISKCON. And sixth is to bring the members closer together for the purpose of teaching a simpler and more natural way of life. So this is for the purpose of establishing farming communities, etc. To break away from the city culture, to break away from the modern godless civilization, to live more with the land, to till the land, to live closer to nature, and realizing that nature has Krishna's energy, Krishna's external energy. In that mood, the ISKCON members should come closer, right? So the sixth objective is to move away from city culture. Even though we are forced to live in city and we are also preaching, the aim of ISKCON is that we should move away from city culture because city culture is godless. It is very difficult to remember God in a city atmosphere. So that purpose is to teach simple, more natural way of life. And seventh is with a view towards achieving the aforementioned purposes to publish and distribute periodicals. BTG is one of them, and now a whole lot of books are going to come and distribute periodicals, magazines, books, and other items. So these are the objectives. And you know, ISKCON was just now registered, just 1 year. So in this 1 year, everything is happening towards the end of that year. You know, ISKCON is getting registered, and now we are going to see that first initiation is going to happen on the Janmashtami day. So the very first Janmashtami, Prabhupada, after leaving India, after reaching America, very first Janmashtami, and already initiated disciples are there. 11 initiated disciples are there. And Prabhupada also performed some marriage. So all that we will see in this week. Of course, with the limited time, I may have to jump over many of these things. I'm really not going to do justice, please forgive me, because it's quite a long chapter. And I really do not have the time to enter into the mood, how much lovingly, caringly, using the choicest words, how Satsrupadas Goswami has written this chapter. This chapter is about 80 pages long and fine print, 80 pages of fine print. How can I cover that? So please forgive me. I will try to do my best. So Prabhupada's plans, what he is going to do next, nobody knows. Suddenly, Prabhupada registers an international society for Krishna consciousness, and he is asking all these followers to sign that. Casual followers, many of them, not even serious followers. So because Prabhupada is asking, they are signing, but they are wondering, what is this international? For us, something in New York is international. But for those who are already in New York, and there is only one temple, 26nd Avenue, not even a temple. It is a residential quarters. It's a storefront. And how do you have the audacity to say international society for Krishna consciousness? So they're asking Prabhupada. Only Prabhupada knows the plan. See, in 1966, Prabhupada knows it is going to be a global movement. It's going to be a worldwide movement. Prabhupada is registering like that. So nobody knows his plans. He will reveal them abruptly. Knew the sanctity of a married life, how a man and woman should live together only in marriage. They cannot simply live the way they want. So all these things Prabhupada is introducing, not just Krishna consciousness. He's introducing Vedic culture into these people. So all these things, amazingly, in a very short span of 1 year, Prabhupada has done that. So we will see these things. And the aura of the temple is described very nicely by Satsuru Das Goswami. So it is the storefront, which is the lecture hall. Storefront is a lecture hall. Prabhupada is living in a second floor room where he is sitting in front of his typewriter and typing out translations. And visitors can go there anytime and they can disturb Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada willingly will set aside his work and talk to them as long as they want. And there is also the worship place where evening there will be Sandhya Arati, Gaur Arati to the Panchatattva picture. And all the serious devotees will be there upstairs. And in the kitchen, Kate is preparing nice prasadam, and that is being offered to the Lord by Srila Prabhupada. All these things are happening. And at the appointed time for lecture, Prabhupada would come down. And then he will be with the public. After the class is over, question answers, Kirtan, Prabhupada will go back to his room. So the temple ambience, even though outside there is so much noise, so much traffic, so much pollution, so much of violence and crime, but once you are inside the temple, the aura is undescribable. It's so, just give me a moment. I think I will have to connect to the power. Just give me a moment. I will continue the class after connecting to the power source. Just 1 minute. Hare Krishna. Can you see?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhu.
PPT is not moving. Yeah. So, after Prabhupada's class is over, downstairs, Prabhupada will go up. And then the more serious followers of Srila Prabhupada, they would also join Srila Prabhupada and they would have a meeting there. And these meetings became very personal meetings. Not like the downstairs meeting where there is a discussion of philosophy more. In the upstairs meetings, there is philosophy definitely. In fact, whatever Prabhupada speaks, he will be connecting it with the scriptures and the philosophy. That is Prabhupada's nature. Even when he's speaking something casual, it will be connected. Prabhupada will do that, linking it back to the scripture. But still, the boys would ask questions like, Prabhupada, how was it like when you came to America first? How was your experience? Where did you go? How did you eat? Like that. And Prabhupada would answer them like, one day after coming to New York, I looked through the window in the morning and I thought if someone has whitewashed everything, the walls, the trees, the cars, everything seemed to have been whitewashed. Then only I came to know that there had been a snowfall. Till that time, I had not seen snowfall, and all the boys would laugh after hearing that. Then Prabhupada would talk about the freedom struggle in India. How Mahatma Gandhi is not the architect of India's freedom, because Mahatma Gandhi's satyagraha or non-violence were not the methods for getting independence. That suited the British actually, the style of Mahatma Gandhi, because he was more interested about his own image as a pacifist, and he's always willing to compromise. He's for the sake of minorities. He will say majority should make sacrifices for the sake of minority. Whatever the minority wants, whether it is just or fair, you should give in to them. These were the kind of policies. And as far as British rule was concerned, again, Prabhupada was adopting a non-violent method. Even, for example, in Jallianwala Bagh, so many thousands of Sikh men, women, and innocent children were killed. Prabhupada was still not having such a powerful response to these things. But Subhash Chandra Bose started the Indian National Army. He even took the help of Japan and Germany, who were the powers against the British at that time in the Second World War. And Prabhupada would say, because of Bose only India got independence, like that. And he would describe about his childhood. Many things we have heard about Prabhupada's childhood. These things have all been shared by Prabhupada with his boys. And that is how the picture of Prabhupada has been constructed. The childhood, how he conducted Rath Yatra at the age of 5, how he has seen the partition agonies between India and Pakistan, how in those days there were no cars or petrol vehicles on the road, there were only horse-drawn tongas, how the street lamps were running on gas. And like that, so many things Prabhupada would share. He would talk about his father, how a nice Vaishnava he was, the kind of shop he was running, how he taught him Mridanga as a very young child. The moment Prabhupada mentioned Mridanga, these boys will have, what is Mridanga? Because remember, even now, 1 year after coming to US, Prabhupada is still not having Mridanga. He is using the Western, some Congo drum or something as Mridanga, that's all. So Prabhupada explained what is a Mridanga. Then he would talk about his marriage. Then they would ask him about how Indian marriages are celebrated, what is arranged marriage. So many things Prabhupada talked about, how he took sannyas, how he left his family, how he left his business. So like that, there was so much intimacy happening between Prabhupada and these steady followers, these young boys basically, developing so much attachment to Srila Prabhupada. And about Kate, we already know that the cook. So he learned everything from Srila Prabhupada. He would cook daily for Prabhupada and himself. That would serve some 2 more guests who have come. But then slowly he started cooking for 15 people at least daily. So every day around noon time, the cooking would be getting over. He would be making chapatis, that would fluff on the fire like a football. He was so expert in making those chapatis. And then finally, chas. That would be the highlight of the cooking. All the boys will be standing just outside the kitchen to watch Kate doing that. He would keep some ghee on the fire, and then he would put some jeera, then some chilies and some other spices. And then when it starts cackling and smoke starts coming out, then he would immediately open the dal, the lid, and throw everything inside. And there would be a big explosion. And all the boys would say, Haribol, cooking is over. Then all the vessels will be brought in front of Panchatattva altar, where Prabhupada would do the offering to the lordships. And Prabhupada will be ringing the bell and chanting the mantras, and all the boys will be offering Dandavat Pranams. Then Prasadam will be served. All of them will sit together. Prabhupada would also sit and eat with them. Sometimes Prabhupada himself would serve to all of them, and they all have these nice memories of Prabhupada asking each of them to eat up to the nose. He said, Mahaprasadam, you should eat more. It is purifying. And the prasadam was so tasty, the boys were more than willing to eat. And Prabhupada never asked any of them to curtail eating. He so much encouraged them. And Prabhupada would also eat the same food. Additionally, Prabhupada would have a cup of hot milk and 1 banana. And the banana, how Prabhupada will cut it, after peeling, on the edge of the milk cup, he will slice it on the edge only, so that one piece will fall inside the milk. So the boys will be watching. So even every simple action of Srila Prabhupada is appreciated. That Prabhupada's movements are always very elegant, very authoritative and aristocratic like that, and very artistic like that. They appreciate what Prabhupada is. So noontime, the same room upstairs will become a dining hall. And evening time, there will be Gaura Arati. Everybody will be joining. Prabhupada will perform the Arati. After that, he will come down for his evening classes. Evening class, we already know. There is the kirtan followed by class, followed by question answers, and then one more kirtan like that. The devotees would be in the ground floor. Many people, newcomers will come. Some people will come. Some people will stop coming in the next day. They would ask some very challenging type of questions. Prabhupada would patiently face all the kinds of interactions. But same time, every day Prabhupada's translation work was going upstairs. Always Prabhupada will be sitting and translating, but any newcomer or visitor can disturb him. Prabhupada would stop his work and give all the time. So that also attracted his followers to Prabhupada. How he was extending himself to anyone, even by stopping his own work, he would be giving them the time to answer all their questions. But midnight, 2 to 4, Prabhupada will be all alone in his room. Everyone will be sleeping. Typing work is going on. Prabhupada's translation work is going on. And morning from 4, after 5:30, then the boys will start coming. And by 6 o'clock, Prabhupada will want to go to bath. But when he goes to the bathroom, it will be already occupied because now Prabhupada is no longer living alone. So many boys are using, there's one bathroom only. So Prabhupada will wait. But he accepted all kinds of inconvenience. His only aim was to serve the Lord and to make these people devotees. So this was going on. So ashram life, I give you a brief, some small stories, anecdotes of how things were going on there. There was one boy called Stanley, who was considered very weak, very small, young boy. His mother supported Prabhupada. He said, please take care of Stanley. He's very weak. Protect him like that. So Prabhupada was like a father to him. Prabhupada would make him eat. And initially, he would not eat well, because the Western custom is spoon, fork, and all that. But in Prabhupada's ashram, everybody eating with hand, following Prabhupada. And the dal, the roti, the sabji, and all that. Stanley was not eating well, but Prabhupada encouraged, so much so. Very soon, Stanley started eating 10 chapatis at one go. Like that, he started becoming a very voracious eater. This was one boy. You will hear more about him. And then Don. Don was another boy. Don and Raphael were staying in the ashram only because they did not have any other place. They were simply staying here. They would assist some of the visitors about meeting Srila Prabhupada, answering them questions and all. But Don and Raphael, both of them had no interest in the philosophy. They had a place to sleep and they would take their bath here. And during lunchtime, they would regularly come to take prasadam. Nothing else. They would not do any other work. But beyond that, Prabhupada tolerated all this. But beyond that, Don started smoking marijuana. That intoxicant, right? He was smoking right there in the ashram. And he would also bring his girlfriend into the ashram. Sometimes the boys would be, horrified. He's sitting there very intimately with his girlfriend and ignoring. Even though Don loved Srila Prabhupada, he had no interest in the philosophy, etc. He was just taking advantage. Prabhupada still tolerated him. But one day what happened? One boy came and he said, have you been smoking marijuana? And Don said, no, I am not smoking. Then that boy immediately put his hand into Don's pocket and pulled out a marijuana. Don slapped him. So this boy went and complained to Srila Prabhupada. Then Prabhupada said, maybe it is time for Don to leave. That's what Prabhupada said. But even before Prabhupada could ask him to leave, he left. How it happened was, Prabhupada was taking class and Don was walking into the hall. And Prabhupada said, Prabhupada was more worried about ISKCON getting a bad name. See, if the members who are staying in the ashram, they are found to be smoking drugs, then it will bring a bad reputation to ISKCON. So even though Prabhupada cared for all these boys individually, but he has to protect ISKCON. So he told Don, if you are smoking, then you cannot be here. If you give up smoking, you can come back. So Don left that day only. And then Raphael was another boy. He was also very casual. He would also stay there, only come for prasadam, for sleeping, for bathing. The rest of the time, he'll be loafing outside. One day he came to Prabhupada and said, all this chanting is not meant for me. I am the son of a boxer. I am supposed to be running on the beach and, developing a powerful body like that. Then Prabhupada said, then go. Very loudly, Prabhupada stared at him and shouted, then you go, get out. Then Raphael became calm. He did not leave. He stayed in the ashram. And then Bill Epstein, you will remember that he was one of the earliest people to know about Prabhupada and start telling about him to others in the Hotel Paradise, restaurant, where everybody would visit there. and they can stay as long as they want. And Bill Epstein was working there. But he was also not serious. He would honestly admit, I like Prabhupada, but I'm not very serious about his philosophy, particularly not drinking, not smoking, and no illicit sex and all that. It will not suit me like that. Bill Epstein was also addicted to LSD. Then Carl, you will remember, Carl Jürgen, he had his girlfriend Eva, and he once asked Prabhupada to leave. He said, I like you, but my girlfriend doesn't like you, and I depend on her, so you cannot stay with me anymore. That Carl, he is always saying, in those days, we had a private moment with Prabhupada that was very nice. There were not big crowds like today. Very few people were there, and we were all very serious. We had intimate moments. That was nice. But now, too many people are coming. Prabhupada is becoming famous, and also commitments. Prabhupada is bringing in more and more commitments. So these things don't suit me like that. Carl was like that. So this is some of the events which are discussed in the book. Actually, very elaborately they are discussed. I'm just giving them in very small doses. And some new people, new committed devotees were coming. Some names I have given. Bruce Sharp, he was a New York University graduate, 24 years old. Just after graduation, he came to Lower East Side, seeking. So all these people were seekers, seeking for spiritual knowledge, but same time they knew nothing except to practice LSD. LSD. Because among the hippies, the philosophy was try intoxicants to expand your consciousness. Then you will experience God. Through expanded consciousness, you will experience God, and that is achieved by taking drugs, especially LSD. So this Bruce Sharp, Chuck Barnett, 18 years old, he was also a seeker. He was trying Buddhism and so many other things. He also started visiting Srila Prabhupada. And Steve Guarino, he was originally a fireman's son. He served in the Navy for 2 years. He started writing some small stories, and he was working in some public welfare office to just maintain himself. But he was also basically a seeker. But what is common among all these people who are coming? They were seeking, but they did not know how to seek. So they were all addicted to taking drugs. So these are the kind of people they were collecting around Srila Prabhupada. Some of the senior people stayed, but most of them left. So we have seen Prabhupada moving from place to place to place. So most of the original people, they came to Prabhupada, they assisted him in some way, but then they drifted away. Very few people stayed. But new people were coming, and each of them were performing a role in expanding the mission of Srila Prabhupada. So during this time, there was an invitation to go to Anand Ashram. And all the boys, along with Srila Prabhupada, they went to Anand Ashram. And this was a monastery on the bank of a huge lake, surrounded by green trees and so much of beautiful greenery. And there was an ashram, the Ramurti Mishra's ashram. So they went there and they had a program. At that time, Ramurti Mishra was not there, but his followers were there. And Prabhupada gave a nice class. And he talked about how Bhakti Yoga is far superior to Ashtanga Yoga, and how impersonalism is not the correct way to attain spiritual consciousness, all these things. And then finally Prabhupada started Kirtan. And this Kirtan went on for 1 hour. And the boys started dancing. Swami step. We have seen the Swami step. Right leg front and then left leg front, like that. We dance in the temple. Like that, they started dancing. And slowly, the residents of Ananda Ashram, they also joined in the dancing. Prabhupada was enthusiastically singing the Kirtan, and they started dancing. And we know the Ananda Ashram people are mostly, Mayavadis, serious jnanis, and they would be practicing pranayama, yogasanas, and all these things, and dry philosophy. And before Prabhupada came, there was a division in the ranks of the Ananda Ashram residents. 2 groups had been formed, and they were not even talking to each other, not seeing each other. There was a tension among these 2 groups. But now what happened? When they started joining in the dance, in the Kirtan, one after the other, the division between these 2 groups disappeared. Right there in the Kirtan. And they all started joining and singing and dancing together. And there was so much, They experienced ecstasy and joy in that place. In the process, the long-standing disputes were forgotten. They became together again. So after the visit was over, they got a feedback like this from the residents of Ananda Ashram. They are all wealthy people, powerful people. They are saying, we have been practicing this Ashtanga Yoga process for a long time, and it is so difficult, and we are not making much progress. But your boys, they have been with you very short time, and they are all hippies and without much knowledge, and they are not practicing any kind of these yoga systems, but still we find they are joyful, they are blissful, and their faces are bright. So, like that, there was appreciation for the Bhakti Yoga which Srila Prabhupada was teaching. Around this time, one gentleman called Larry Bogart, he became very friendly to Srila Prabhupada. He would come to Prabhupada's classes and all. One day he told Prabhupada, please come to the United Nations. Outside the United Nations, we are going to have a peace vigil. We are calling all the various movements, who are interested in peace to come and sit in front of United Nations and request the American government to stop the Vietnam War. So we want Swami Prabhupada to inaugurate that peace vigil. So Prabhupada agreed. So on the 31st of August, he went there, and there were many groups had assembled, and ISKCON boys also were there, and Prabhupada was there. Prabhupada made a small speech, and then Prabhupada started the kirtan. Immediately the organizers told, no, this is a peace vigil. We have to be silent. Nobody should do any noises. So Prabhupada said, okay. The boys were disappointed. They had come for a very nice kirtan, but Prabhupada said, we have to respect the rules, whatever they have prayed. So Prabhupada started picking up his beads, and for 2 hours they chanted. Because the peace vigil was started by ISKCON. And Prabhupada said some very interesting things. Prabhupada said, United Nations is there for peace, but you cannot have peace until you recognize that God is the proprietor of the world. You have so many flags in United Nations, which means you have so many countries. But all this is artificial. When you recognize Krishna or God as the proprietor of everything, as the supreme enjoyer, supreme controller, and supreme well-wisher, then only you can have peace. Otherwise, it's not possible to have peace. This is what Prabhupada spoke there in that meeting. Oh, anyway, so they came back after that peace vigil, and Prabhupada invited Larry Bogart for a lunch. Because Larry Bogart was a very influential person in UN, and Prabhupada thought he can use his services. So he agreed to come. So the day he was supposed to come for lunch, Prabhupada and Kate were busy in the kitchen, cooking so many items. Very nicely they were cooking because they wanted to impress Bogart. And Prabhupada told Stanley, I hope you all remember now Stanley, the Greek boy. Prabhupada told him, you stay downstairs and don't allow anyone up because we are preparing a nice feast for Mr. Bogart. He's coming for lunch, so you don't allow others to come up. So he went there, stationed himself with a very serious look on his face. Anyone who came, he stopped them. No, Swamiji is busy, you cannot meet him. And then Larry Bogart appeared. A senior man in pants, suit, tie, everything. But to him also, Stanley said, no, Swamiji will not see you, he is busy. Larry said, when will Swamiji come? Shall I wait? And he took one chair and he waited. But this boy completely neglected. He did not go upstairs and inform, nor did he tell Bogart, Swamiji will come, nothing. He was, with a blank look, he was simply sitting there. So after some time, Bogart got disgusted and walked away. And Prabhupada was becoming anxious. What happened? He sent Kate downstairs to find out. And Kate came and told, he has been sent away by Stanley. Prabhupada became very upset. He called him, you are a big fool. Why did you do that like that? But then Prabhupada immediately forgave him also. But Stanley was sort of becoming very casual, very indifferent and all those things. Very soon afterwards, Stanley went to Srila Prabhupada's room and said, please give me $50. Huh? Please, no, I think that's not Stanley. No, this Stanley story is over. Let us move on. One day, Kate in the kitchen asked Srila Prabhupada, can I become your disciple? Suddenly he asked like, And Prabhupada said, yes, I accept you. Your name is Krishnadasa. Like that Prabhupada told. Then soon, immediately Prabhupada also told, soon I am going to have initiations and people can take Diksha for initiation from me. And nobody understood what initiation means. Prabhupada said, initiation means taking some vows, taking some commitments, and we will soon have the function. So the message went around. The devotees were curious but confused. What does it mean? But because they loved Prabhupada so much, they almost all of them decided, yes, we will take the Diksha. We will take the initiation. But Prabhupada did not disclose all the details. But he told them, you must chant on the beads. So all of you buy beads in the market and I will show you how to string them into a japamala. They bought loose beads and they bought the string, and Prabhupada taught them how to tie a knot and then put the bead inside, then two knots, then one more bead, two knots, like that. He taught them how to make the japmala. So they started doing that. And Prabhupada said, now Janmashtami is coming, and the day after Janmashtami will be the initiation. So this September 8, 1966 is the anniversary of the Jaladuta voyage. You remember that was the time when the first Janmashtami happened, and Prabhupada's birthday also happened. And this is the very following Janmashtami. So exactly 1 year after Prabhupada left India. And that day Prabhupada said, we will only do chanting, reading scripture, fasting whole day and night, and feasting at midnight. So this was announced. And everyone assembled in Prabhupada's room, and they were chanting. And Prabhupada, someone requested Prabhupada, all along you are reading from only Radhakrishnan, Dr. Radhakrishnan's book. Why don't you read from your own manuscripts? And Prabhupada very happily took out his manuscripts of Bhagavad Gita translation, and that was read that day. And Prabhupada said, in India, nobody will eat anything on Janmashtami. So he said, all of you also, please don't eat. If you are very hungry, you can go to the kitchen. There are some fruits, you can eat fruits, but nothing else. But I prefer that you don't eat fruits also. At midnight, there will be a feast like that. So the whole day they were reading and they were making the japamala, they were beading the japamala. And in between, they were sleeping also. They were becoming very tired. This way, Prabhupada spent the Janmashtami with them. At midnight, everybody was served some prasadam in paper plate. And Prabhupada again described the appearance of Lord Sri Krishna, how Lord appeared in the prison cell, and how the Lord was transferred from there by his father Vasudeva to Nanda Maharaj's palace. All these things, Prabhupada told stories. And next day was initiation. Before that, someone went to ask Srila Prabhupada, what is initiation? And Prabhupada said, initiation means the Guru accepts the student and takes charge of his life. And the student accepts the Guru as God. The boys became shocked. All along, Prabhupada has been telling them that if anyone says that I am God, he is a dog. Prabhupada has repeated so many times. Now suddenly Prabhupada is saying that we should accept him as God. What is this? So after a lot of confusion, they decided we will go and ask him directly. Prabhupada, what do you mean that we have to accept you as God? Prabhupada said, yes, Krishna is God. No one else is God. Only Krishna is God. But anyone who is coming as his representative and is teaching you the message of Krishna, he should be treated equal to God because he is a representative of God. Through him, you are going to get Krishna. So Guru deserves the same respect as what is due to Krishna. So the boys understood. Okay. Then the day of initiation, Prabhupada did not impose any strong rules. Anyone who was serious could take Diksha. Anyone who is willing to accept the commitments of chanting 16 rounds a day, they could take Diksha like that. And Michael Grant had not been coming for some time because he was busy with his music and all. But one day he came along with his girlfriend, and he also decided to take Diksha. When he came to know that there is going to be a Diksha ceremony, he and his girlfriend, Jan, they also decided to take. And this is the first batch of 11 devotees initiated by Srila Prabhupada. The initiation ceremony, first there was a Yajna Kunda, which was built with bricks. Prabhupada collected the bricks from a burnt down building nearby. The bricks were brought and they were assembled. And then a heap of sand was there in the center. And some wood was taken from, packing materials. That wood was collected as for the Yajna purpose. And then there were 11 bananas that were decorating around the Yajna Kunda. And all the boys were sitting tightly together around the Yajna Prabhupada was sitting on one side, and Prabhupada said, everybody keep on chanting. So there was a chanting was the only sound that people could hear in the truth. Everybody was chanting. And suddenly Srila Prabhupada started the fire sacrifice. He dipped the wood in ghee. He was keeping ghee with him, and then he started the fire. And he kept bowls full of, butter, paddy seeds, barley seeds, like that, some mixture, and till like that. And he gave to each of them one cup like that. And he said, whenever I ask you to drop it into the fire, you should take some of it and throw it into the fire, like that. And before this, Prabhupada did Achaman, with the Achaman cup. Apavitra, Pavitro va, Sarva, Vastam, Gato Viva, Yasmare, Pundare, Kaksham, Sabhakya, Abhyantara Suchi, like that. 3 times Prabhupada did Achaman, and then he passed the cup around. Nobody knew all these things. Now only they are learning from Prabhupada. So all of them did the Achaman. Then Prabhupada told them to come one by one to him and to give the beads. Prabhupada took the beads from each of them. He chanted on the beads. And then when he returned to the beads, along with the beads, he gave them a name. So each of them got their name. So now here we see Mukunda. Mukunda is Michael Grant. That is Mukunda. And Jan, his girlfriend, became Janaki. And Roy, you may remember this name. He is with Prabhupada for a long time, assisting him. He became Raya Rama. And Valley became Umapati. And Bill Epstein, who has been there for a long time from the days of the Loft in Bowery, he became Ravindra Swarupa. And Carl Yergan, he became Karlapati. He hosted Prabhupada for a few days in his house also. And then because of his girlfriend, he requested Prabhupada to leave. So that Carl also took initiation. And one James Green, he's also a very senior man. He was a carpentry teacher, but he was not very serious about taking initiation. But that day, he happened to be there and he decided, okay, what is the harm I will do? So many of these people took initiation very casually. And there was this Stanley, he became Strayadish. Only few days back, he had sent away, Carl Bogart, Bogart, no? That boy is also getting initiated as Strayadish. And Howard Wheeler, who was helping Prabhupada in his editing work, English editing, he became Hayagriva. And 2 more people who came that day only by chance, they also took initiation. They became Satyavrata and Janardhan. Like that, the initiation was over. Then Prabhupada started the fire sacrifice. In the fire sacrifice, the fire was burning. Prabhupada was putting more and more wood and ghee, and they were dropping the mixture, what they are having, into the fire. And the fire started burning bigger and bigger. All the windows were closed. Nothing would escape outside. And the room was becoming hotter and hotter. But Prabhupada was very much focused on the fire sacrifice. So by the time the fire was burning very big, and Prabhupada said each of them to bring one banana and put it into the fire. So when 11 bananas came into the fire sort of became smoke. And the room became filled with very thick smoke, and people were coughing, running here and there. And all the Prabhupada said, this smoke will not do any harm. This smoke is good. So someone went to open the window. Prabhupada said, no, don't open the window. The windows are kept shut. After some time, slowly, somehow, the smoke cleared away. Then only the windows were opened. And Prabhupada was very happy, and Prabhupada started laughing, saying, I was afraid someone will call the fire service. But fortunately, no one outside even came to know. So that way the initiation ceremony was completed. And very importantly, someone went and asked Prabhupada, what are the commitments? Prabhupada said, good that you asked me. I was waiting that somebody will ask. Then Prabhupada told this, no meat eating, no intoxication, no gambling, and no illicit sex. And the boys thought, what a strong commitment it is. Prabhupada said, yes, now you are initiated, you must follow this. And minimum 16 rounds. Prabhupada said, my Guru Maharaj insisted on 64 rounds. If anyone is not chanting 64, he's not even a human being. That's what Saraswati Thakur used to say. But Prabhupada, considering the situation in the West, he reduced it to only 16 rounds. So now we have the first batch of 11. Exactly 1 year after Prabhupada left India, he is having his first batch of committed disciples. After this was over, next day, Mukunda and Janaki came to Prabhupada's lecture. And Prabhupada looked at Mukunda and smiled. He said, you have accepted a commitment that you will not have any illicit sex. So how you are going to handle it? So Mukunda became alarmed. Prabhupada, is there no scope for us to stay together? Then Prabhupada said, yes, but you have to marry. Only as husband and wife, we can stay together, not otherwise. Immediately Mukunda and Janaki agreed, we'll get married. Prabhupada said, I will perform the marriage. So Prabhupada fixed the date 2 days later. I forgot to tell you, for the initiation ceremony, there was a big feast. Prabhupada personally cooked a big feast for all the disciples and other visitors and guests. Guests had also come to watch the Diksha. So for everybody, Prabhupada personally served the prasad. Prabhupada was walking, people are remembering in his bare feet. Prabhupada's feet were pinkish, that's what they say. And so Prabhupada's only on the face of Prabhupada, you can see his aging. That's why the rest of his body is like velvet smooth. That's what they say. And Prabhupada was walking among them, serving the prasadam to each one of them, requesting them to take more. And very many nice sweets and other items had been prepared. So now 2 days later, the next big festival is happening. That is the first marriage in ISKCON. So Prabhupada told Janaki, the marriage is actually celebrated by the bride's people. So please ask your family to come. But Janaki said, my family is very far away. Father and mother cannot come, but my sister will come. 3,000 miles away. So her sister Joan came the next day, flying in. So Prabhupada was introduced to her and he asked, who all are coming from your family? She said, no, only me, no one else is coming. Prabhupada said, okay, very good. But it is your responsibility to do everything for your sister's marriage. So sit down, I will teach you. And Prabhupada is already in the kitchen. Prabhupada is the priest for the marriage, but he is also the cook for the marriage. So Prabhupada is cooking for 40 people. And he made Janaki, this Joan, to participate in that process. He made her make dough and to make balls out of the dough and to fry them like that. He was engaging her. And she has no idea of what is ISKCON. She has simply come for her sister's marriage. She has no intention of joining with these people. But then when the prasadam time came, all the boys sat together and they were all eating with hand. And Joan was very shocked, Joan is a health freak. She will not eat all this kind of food. She will eat only, what is very healthy food like that. But here people were eating sweets, fried items and all. But Prabhupada was very lovingly asking her, please take this, please take this. So she did not want to refuse. But every time Prabhupada gave something, she was thinking in her mind, this is the last time I will eat this. I will not eat anymore like that. But she also fell in love with Prabhupada's affection. His demeanor. Prabhupada was so very simple, so kind and so loving. At the same time, so expert. She saw right in front of her eyes, Prabhupada cooked 15 items in sufficient quantity for 40 people. And from the kitchen, he personally brought out all these things. During that time, she was making only one item, that is to fry kachoris. So she saw what a great expert Srila Prabhupada was. Later on, Joan also became a disciple of Srila Prabhupada. She became Yamuna Mataji. The sister of Janaki became Yamuna Mataji, that you will see in the future classes. So, 2 big festivals. So the marriage ceremony was performed again in front of fire. No sannyasi celebrates marriage. Sannyasi will not even visit a marriage. But here, Srila Prabhupada as a service to Lord Krishna. In order to establish sanctity in social life, personally he took the responsibility of performing the marriage with Vedic mantras. Uh, he asked uh, Mukunda to buy nice sari for her, ornaments for her. So he went to the shops and bought some silver ornaments and a nice red silk sari. So for the first time during the marriage, he came in that rich red silk sari and wearing so many ornaments. And all the disciples were so surprised to see that and very impressed, because till now she was usually coming in some jeans and some plain clothing only. But today, in a typical way, like an Indian bride, she came. And then Prabhupada told him to apply, Mukunda to apply kumkum on her forehead, parting. So with that, they became husband and wife, and they made the vows. Whatever Prabhupada told, they repeated. This way, the first marriage was completed, followed by a huge feast for everyone. And then Prabhupada, after serving 40 guests at the marriage, Prabhupada said, if I had the means, I can hold a major festival like this every day. That is the mood of Prabhupada. He has single-handedly done everything, but he's not tired. On the contrary, he is eager to hold festivals like this in honor of Krishna every day of the year. And this is actually Krishna consciousness also. In Krishna consciousness, every day is a celebration, because we are all children of Krishna and we are serving Krishna lovingly. So our life should be a celebration every day of the year. So we learned this from Srila Prabhupada. Even though we may have some complaints about the difficulties in our life, when we see Prabhupada's life, then I think we can see that we are unnecessarily complaining about petty things. Prabhupada had such major challenges, but never he complained. He never thought of complaining also. And you can imagine someone like Stanley, he initiated within 1 week only. 1 week ago, such an important visitor had been turned away, but he got initiated also. Like the Prabhupada is a personification of compassion, which we see. And as followers of the movement, we should also try to imbibe all these qualities in us, even in a small measure, slowly, slowly, slowly. Constantly remembering Srila Prabhupada, we should try to imbibe these qualities in us. A couple of things I have missed out, I will tell you now, because this is a very long chapter, many pages. So at the Ananda Ashram, in the night, they slept there. The boys slept in the open, by the side of the lake. And while sleeping, Howard had a nice dream, which he recollected later on. The dream was, sometime before daybreak, he saw in his dream a beautiful young boy, golden complexion, long hair, and very shining clothes. He looked like he's out of this world. He looked like some 18 years old, and he was dancing. And he was surrounded by many devotees like that. And then Howard asked, who is he? And someone replied, don't you know? He is our Swamiji. Then Howard asked again, how is it possible? He doesn't look at all like our Swamiji. Then he got an answer from within his heart that if I appear like this, people will follow me for my beauty. They will not follow me for my teachings. Like that, he got a reply. And immediately the dream ended. And Howard was startled by the dream. And he had already asked Prabhupada about dreams. And Prabhupada told him, usually dreams have no significance, but dreams in which you see your spiritual master, they have special significance. So Howard came to the conclusion that Srila Prabhupada has actually come from the spiritual world. But he is hiding his original form because his mission is to give the teachings of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And for that purpose, he has taken such a simple, humble position, and he is making all the efforts to give the teachings of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to the people. The same night, Keith had a dream. That dream was, he saw the Kurukshetra battlefield, and Krishna was teaching to Arjuna Bhagavad Gita. And after some time, the scene changed, and in the place of Krishna, Srila Prabhupada was standing. And kneeling down in front of him was Keith himself. And Prabhupada was speaking the same shlokas of Bhagavad Gita. Then Kate came to the conclusion that this is a message for me that Prabhupada is a pure representative of Krishna. And he is speaking the words of Krishna only. He's not teaching anything else. He's teaching the message of Krishna. So when I hear from him, I am actually hearing from Krishna directly. So like that, he came to the conclusion that Srila Prabhupada is the perfect representative of Lord Sri Krishna. So like that, these incidents are narrated. And also about the newcomers who slowly became serious, some of their past life histories are given, how they came to Prabhupada, how they became impressed by Prabhupada's demeanor, by his humility, simplicity, his erudition, his knowledge of Sanskrit, his knowledge of the scriptures, his ability to tackle any kind of challenges, any kind of questions. So all of them were becoming more and more committed to the movement of Srila Prabhupada. So with this, I will end today's session. I invite your comments, suggestions, and questions. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much for the wonderful class, Prabhuji. 80 pages you have gone through and given us the essence of it. For a lazy person like me, I wouldn't have read so many pages in a short while. Prabhuji, thank you so much. And I wanted to ask Prabhuji, one Prabhuji is taking class no, in ISKCON Chennai, Mukunda Datta Prabhuji.
Yeah.
So I think I have seen that name also in Prabhupada's book.
No, he's Mukunda. Today we saw Mukunda. No? This is Mukunda Maharaj. Yeah? He later on became a sannyasi. That is Mukunda Maharaj. This Mukunda Datta Prabhu is also Prabhupada's disciple, but I don't know whether his name will appear in future in the Lilamrt. I'm not sure because Prabhupada had thousands of disciples, but only maybe 100 or so names are appearing in the Lilamrt. Many of them are not mentioned, but Mukunda Datta Prabhu is very special because he's so expert in Sanskrit. You heard how he's pronouncing Sanskrit, no? He's also proficient in some other Indian languages. And I heard that he is living in Vrindavan. And he has spent a lot of time in South India also. And he is very close to His Holiness Bhaktivikas Swami Maharaj. He's very much interested in the culture of India, the Vedic culture, and things like that. He gives very nice classes, but I don't know whether in future we will see his name in Lilamrt. Hare Krishna.
Okay.
But actually, yeah, I have spoken very little. If these 80 pages you will read, then you will collect much, much more nectar. I have spoken very, very brief. Yes, Krishnamurti Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Dandavat pranams Prabhuji. Prabhuji, I am talking with full-heartedly. Really, Prabhuji, we have not seen Prabhupada. Whereas you yourself, your kind self has bring the imagine of the Prabhupada and these movements and all those things. So while describing all these things, I think Prabhupada he himself come in your vision, in your heart. You are expressing like that. So we can't able to. It is not an easy thing for the explain all those things, but because he is a Vishwaguru, and then he is a miracle, and we can't able to imagine his thoughts, thinkings. So that capacity, you are simply very simple language. You are explaining us. We never forget this in our life till our last breathing. So I am very grateful to you, Prabhuji, because you have made us so polite, so small, more small. We must be small forever to hear all these things. I am grateful to Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhu,
Prabhuji. I
for
am
your
grateful
kind
to you.
words. Actually, I am really happy to hear your words because this Prabhupada Lilamrt, that book actually brings history alive in front of it. So, as you said, the author has been empowered by Srila Prabhupada to write that book. It's so powerful. Every word is so powerful. I am inclined to read the book in front of you because I don't want to miss anything. It's so beautiful. And The most dissatisfied person after my classes must be me only. I feel, no, I have not done justice. I have not done justice. So your words are a solace to me that, okay, I have not done so badly. But yes, if compared to the content of the book, what I am speaking is just nothing, just nothing. I'm
No,
not.
nothing, Prabhuji. It has touched our hearts, Prabhuji. This is this real voice. Touched our hearts. So we must be grateful to Srila Prabhupada and your kind self. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, I totally agree with Krishnamurti Prabhuji. Actually, I developed love for Prabhupada only because your explanations, I could even now each and everything I could see, totally visualize the feast, Prabhupada's giving initiation, everything I could totally visualize by your description, Prabhuji. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Dandat Pranams, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Jai Srila Prabhupada. So thank you all. We will meet again next week. So today we are skipping our Bhagavad Gita. We will try and catch up in future. Thank you so much for joining. Please continue to come and encourage me to dive deeply into Srila Prabhupada's Lilamrt. And wish you all a very happy New Year, Tamil New Year. Even though for devotees of ISKCON, the New Year is Gaura Purnima. Gaura Purnima is our Gaura Shaka. That is our real New Year. And that our new life actually starts. Came to Krishna consciousness. So thank you all very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranams, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, pranams.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji,
Pranams.
thank you, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Prabhuji, Pradhanam Bhavaneshu, Vaishnavyo Namo Namaha, Vaishnavyo Namo Namaha,
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.